Welcome to the Art Project. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. If you want to get notified of future videos, tap the bell. And if you got any comments, please leave them in the comment section down below. I'm doing a Michael Craig Martin inspired painting. To do this, I'm going to do at least 10 contour drawings on 10 different sheets of copy paper. I'm then going to do a 1-inch border on a 18 by 24 sheet of drawing paper, and then I'm going to take those drawings that I did earlier, scribble on the backs of them, or use tracing paper to transfer them to the paper with the border. After that, I'm going to go over every line with a Sharpie marker. Now I'm assuming that you already know how to transfer images with tracing paper. If you don't, I have a video on that. Just go to my channel and do a search for tracing paper or transfer method, and it'll come up. But I'm going to go over all of these with a Sharpie pen. Notice how slightly awkward some of my contour drawings are. They do not have to be perfect. Just do the best you can. The more of them you do, the less people are going to pay attention to your ability to draw, and the more they're going to focus on the sheer number of images you have. Here it is completed, but now I'm going to go and fill everything in with paint. The key to doing the paint is to make sure that every color is unique. Now you probably want to figure out, first of all, what color scheme you're going to use. Are you going to use all warm colors? Are you going to use all cool colors? Are you going to use all analogous colors? Are you going to use all complementary colors? What is your plan? If you're going to use complementary colors, are you going to use all blues and oranges? Or are you going to use all purples and yellows? If you're going to do all analogous colors, are you going to do like the family of reds, or the family of yellows, or the family of blues? If you're going to do warm colors, are you going to focus around the yellows, or are you going to focus around the reds? Come up with a color scheme, figure out, and you can look up different color schemes on Google and find out which one you actually like the best before having to commit to anything. But once you figure it out, then you're going to start mixing these colors and just filling in everything one at a time, kind of like you would a coloring book. There's not any fancy modeling of paint. There's not any fancy shading or blending or gradating of the paint. There is some fancy mixing. This is where Michael Craig Martin's paintings just become amazing, is in the colors that he chooses. So in order to make your colors, you're going to always mix 2 or more colors. You're never going to put anything straight from the bottle or straight from the tube onto your painting. You'll want to kind of experiment with this a little bit. You can mix together some red and blue and see what the purple comes out looking like. But then don't leave that alone. Add a little bit of white to it to make it a tint of purple, or add a little black to it to make it a shade of purple, or add a little bit of black and a little bit of white, which would actually be gray, to make it a tone of purple. The key here is to make sure that you never have any colors that are just straight from the bottle, because that's boring. Almost everybody goes to the store, all of the lay persons, all of the amateur painters at some point, the beginners, they go to the store, they buy a tube of paint, and then they just paint it that color. Well, that makes everybody's paintings a lot alike. So make your own unique colors. Create a color. But then make sure you stick within a particular color harmony. Now, I'm teaching you this, or I'm telling you all of this, but I got to confess that's not exactly what I did on this particular painting. On this particular painting, I did mix up all of my colors and try and make them as unique as possible, including the background. Everything that you see that's white right now, just about, is going to be painted this pink color that I made. But something else that I tried to do in this particular painting is I tried to make everything in the painting sort of the complementary color of what it was in real life. So for example, the bowling pin in real life is white, So I wanted to make it black, but I did not want to use just regular black because that's boring and sterile. I mixed my black with, if I remember correctly, a little bit of purple, purple that I made by mixing some red and blue. So I made a really, 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 really dark purple, and that way, when you see um, the negative of it, or if you look at it for 60 seconds and then look at it a white surface, you will see the inverse of that picture. You can do this as well if you want to. Just be sure and let me know that's what you're doing, so I don't look for warm colors or cool colors specifically, or whatever. Make sure that I know what it is you're trying to do, so I can tell whether or not you did it right. The theory is that when I finish with this, I can look at it for 60 seconds and then look at the wall, and I'll have the inverse of that particular painting, of so to look like the real colors. This is not going to work 100%, but we're going to see at the end what it would look like with a little Photoshop magic. Anyway, also outlined everything I've got in white. I recommend you outline everything you do in black. That's it. Now it's your turn. Go make some art.